got a little bit of a different video. We've got Nick Schulman, one of our fitters, and Nick and I were both brought up in the same era, which was 80s and 90s. So we're going to take a little bit of a look back at clubs from then. You know, both of us kind of geeked out in magazines, looking at images of blades and persimmon woods and things like that back then, about what our favourite set of woods, irons and putter would have looked like back in the 90s. So let's start off with woods. I mean, woods, to coin the phrase, used to be wood.
They were. Yeah. They were indeed.
And in the 90s, they changed into metal. And they were all tiny. So, you know.
So, and you had to be good to hit it. I mean, you had to be really good to hit it. You know, and I mean, we were talking off camera about, you know, the good players in your club, where the people you look up to as a junior, and they'd all have this sort of same flight, which was the low riser with the balata and everything.
The thing now we hate more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Everyone was aiming for that flight. Now we want to get rid of it completely. So,
I think it's an interesting period. There was a lot of tech at the time, tech advancements. Say going from persimmon to metal. You know, I think it was Alathable was the first to win a major with a metal with a metal drive in 1994 Masters. So you know, that was when it came in. But it's not like head sizes got bigger. I still nostalgically look back to the wooden woods. They're just so pretty.
Oh, they're so beautiful.
You know, for me, the Mizuno, the World Master, was I salivated over that.
I mean, they were stunning.
Beautiful.
And also beautifully shaped. There was a real sort of artistry to golf clubs then. That, you know, we have incredibly good-looking clubs now. Tech advancements are amazing. It's always interesting to see the materials But back then it was proper craftsmanship.
Yeah.
You know, really was, and to see something that was, you know, I think Bernard Langer's driver that used in the Masters in the 90s, in '93, with the Wood brothers. I mean, it's a stunning bit of kit. You know, I hate to think of the swing weight, but it was a stunning bit of kit.
True.
You know.
And when people talk about saying out the screws, well, literally the faces had screws in. Yeah. And that's where the phrase came from. So it's not some kind of strange wording we used to use. But I think in terms of, you'd got things like the Pingwoods where they put in the laminate heads, and they'd actually had a kind of cavity in the centre, whereas you know this one I've just got out there was a solid head. So that was a precursor to what everyone's doing now. Yeah. And you were saying just before we came on about, you look at the irons, we'll come on to those, but you know, Ping were doing things back then way before anyone else was.
Unbelievable. The DNA is still in the modern club. You know, you can see the progression through the years, but the ideas were still there. You know, the Zing had a sort of slight toe weight in it. You know, I mean, Karsten was a genius. Yeah.
Well, he digressed though. We're on woods at the moment.
So
I'm putting my vote in purely on sheer beauty. Sod playability, because they were just so good looking. But Mizuno's got the Croft Series 3 wood and the World Master driver. That was from the moment Faldo won in '92. Thank you very much. I'll have one of those.
Okay, so I'm going to go.
But form over function.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go here. Okay, so when I was...
There's a lot of agonising over this.
It's been painful. I neglected all parental duties over the weekend. It was all research. He just fended for himself, my son. Just fended for himself. No, I'm going to go Taylormade, Flex Twist, mid-size driver.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you how much I wanted one of those. And I got one, actually. I did manage to get one, and they were so good. Yeah. I'm not sure about the performance, but they look so cool. I remember when Flex Twist came out, I think it was 1994, where they were all over the Open.
Yeah, my brother had one of those.
They were so cool.
He was older than I am, so he got the new tech.
Yeah.
Bitterly disappointed about that.
You got the hand-me-downs.
I did, yeah. I ended up better than him, but he hit it much better than I did. So yeah.
But they were just, and with that, then also I reminisce. I had a Maxfli Tour 3-wood, that I absolutely loved. And for me, that's my choice. Mid-size, the Taylormade mid-size with the Flex Twist and the Maxfli Tour 3-wood.
I'm obviously more of a masochist, but yeah, I think there's just a feel off those wooden heads as well. In a balata ball, if you could risk one, don't want to put one in a bunker and thin it and ruin it. But I think just the feel off those heads and the look and the beauty of them. I think that's where, for me, clubs now, I still like the aesthetics of the head to be right, and I think it goes back to starting with blades and wooden woods and. But I just remember how much my fingers hurt in winter if you miss-hit it.
And they were so heavy as well.
Yeah, or steel shafts.
So heavy.
Steel shafts. Or there was the advent of composite or boron shafts in woods, which were very stable but brutal. There was nothing back from them. And we talk about shafts feeling dead now. Try one of those. Absolutely shocking, but incredibly stable and a little bit lighter than steel.
Yeah, it was incredible. You know, to think you could. The thought of going out and playing golf with those now, I cannot imagine. I'm so pleased that
I think it'll be
the advancements have come. Because,
dismal, I think, wouldn't it?
It would just be. I'll be sad.
Disheartening.
I'd be walking in after 2. I'd had enough.
We'd run out of golf balls. We'd have thin too many. So irons wise, you're going through. I think for me, such a great period of. Again, it's aesthetics. They're pretty much all blades. Certainly the first part of it. And you've got the Mizuno's, the TP18, 19s, TP9s, Wilson staff blades. We've got an example of Ram, Tom Watson, Nick Price. Look at that. I mean,
we often say, it's like a butter knife, but that genuinely is the smallest thing I've ever seen.
There's not a lot there, is it?
There's nothing there.
And even worse, it's got a 1 on it.
Yeah, exactly. There is no loft. There is no forgiveness. That is brutal.
Yeah, and there's no sole width as well. The angle on the sole. This is the other bit of it. Is it's sharp. There's no the bounce is negative bounce.
Yeah, exactly.
But there was no fairway watering back then either. But I think from an era on the aesthetics of golf clubs, to me that we will never see anything like that again.
No, and there was such a. There was because the cycles weren't, we didn't have the release cycles. It was always quite exciting when new stuff came out. It was so exciting, and being an absolute club pervert like I was, like I would go in there at pro shop, something new would come out, I'd be all over it, like all over it. And iron wise, I mean, what was yours?
Well, the head I always wanted was, it sounds like I'm a Mizuno whore, but it was the TP18s, the 3-step back. Those are the TP9s. And the time I got to the point where I was, it probably wasn't good enough, but I was updating equipment, they'd gone. And I walked into the pro shop and I got a set of Ben Sayers Mentor blades. I took one look at them and said, I'll have those. And the pro went, you haven't even hit them. Okay. But I think I'd probably err to the 18s. I just always loved the look of that 3-step back, that progression in weight up the back of the face.
Beautiful.
Just stunning.
And also, I used to get the catalogues.
Catalogues.
I mean, for any golf connoisseur or anyone like that.
That was the precursor to the internet, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just like the catalogues would come out and you'd be like, the TP9, going into TP11, and they were just stunning. They were stunning.
But then you look at, we've done another video on this recently as well, which will be coming out soon. But the start of the perimeter weight. I mean, this was 80s, so this was before then, and it was really very few brands would do. They were starting to do this in the 90s.
Yeah, this was the one, wasn't it? Sort of like the Ping Eye 2 was a game changer.
Yeah.
I would always say, if I went into irons, I always had a really strong grip that back in those days, every instructor would try and weaken it because that's what they did, but I just kept on creeping around because that's how my hand sits. So I needed a bit of perimeter weighting. And I look at the Ping Eye 2s, and for me, the beryllium copper Ping Eye 2s are gold standard. But I'm going to give an honourable mention to the Tommy Armour 845s.
Yeah. I think the Silver Scots, was that?
Yeah, the Silver Scott. They had so many staff members, and they had some really big players. Fred Couples played them for a while, Bruce Litsky, Davis Love. The money that they go out there. And they were victims of their own success because they could never replicate that 845. But they were incredible. But
that had that heel toe weight as well. They had little notches heel and toe.
Exactly, yeah. And they were just, they were stunning clubs.
Yeah.
And, the performance was so advanced. I remember the Ping Eye 2 just being the one.
Yeah. And that, I think at the time, if you had a set of 1-iron to sand wedge, there was a period of time where they were worth something. If you had a complete set. Yeah. Because no one ever got the 1-iron. So you never found a complete set. You might have the odd individual one, but to get a complete set with all the serial numbers matched up, they were worth some money back then.
Oh yes, it's serious money. And it's weird. The original Big Bertha driver, if I remember, was £500 back then.
Was that the biggest Big Bertha?
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Yeah, either way.
I mean, you think of inflation. I mean, that's crazy money back then. But yeah,
that was one of the first with titanium.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was what inflated the price up.
I mean,
I seem to remember. Yeah.
And even that was a huge tech advancement. I mean, that looked enormous back then. Now we put it down, it looks like a hybrid. But essentially, you know what I mean? But it was enormous back then. And yeah, I mean, just fabulous. What about wedges?
Wedges back then were more what kind of tracked. They'd gone from tracking off the set, and then you know, I mean, look, there is only one. It's 588 Cleveland. Oh. There's only one for me. Has to be. Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Are you going snake eyes or something? Like
no,
that?
God, no.
But they were small.
Yeah. No, they were fab. I'm going to throw in a little curveball, the Wilson JP.
Right. Yeah.
So that had a little bit of camber. So I'd have that in a sand wedge, and then obviously the Ping I2 lob wedge.
You can see a trend here, can't you? Nick's going for things that are functionally are more useful. I'm going for things that give no help, just look nice.
Just absolute use. See, they're works of art. No, but I mean, and also the high toe, the Ping I2. I mean, again, like we said, the DNA goes into modern clubs.
All been done. Everything that's out now, to a point, has been done or tried. It's just that now the materials are there to be able to put into mass production and make it cost effective.
Yeah. ICW 11, the original hollow bodies. You know, so I mean, it's incredible. I mean, honestly, genuinely, I could have put six. I could have picked 6 sets. I could have picked 6 sets. I was jumping up and down, looking at things. You know, going.
You must be close to those Taylormade irons, though, the ICWs. From a tech point of view, to create a hollow body, foam filled. Was it foam filled back then?
Well, it was. I mean, they had something
kind
in it,
of.
But
There was
then
a
they also
infilled.
because the ICW 5s were hollowed up until about the 4 or 5 iron.
Yeah.
And then they crept down. The ICW 5s had a slightly less offset. And they weren't the sand, that sort of off colour.
Yeah, and there was a very matted down grey in it, weren't they? Yeah.
They were beautiful. They were really beautiful. And I had the precursors to, they're my junior set, which were the Taylormade TDs, which were, sort of bladey. And they were fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you could honestly, this could be about 2 hours long. You could just listen to 2 people just self-indulgently.
Two middle-aged men rambling about
golf clubs.
So putt it well, again. It's kind of hard to go anywhere but a Ping answer.
Yeah, it has to be.
There was the Tadmore. There was the one that Mr. Fowler used, which was sort of the semi-mallet with the heel insert, which had a little more scale to it. But I'm going to go to form and go classic with a Ping answer. Ping answer
were just. Everyone back in those days as well. Everyone putted with the toe up. Do you remember? Everyone putted with the toe up. Seve had done it.
Seve in '84.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone, any player was putting with the toe up. But I mean, funny enough, Taylormade had some really interesting designs back then. They were trying to push the boundaries. There was some. I mean, I looked over some of their old designs and they were incredible looking. I always wanted one of those as well. But the Ping answer was just incredible. Quite a soft shaft to it as well.
Yeah, very soft.
Had a really soft shaft.
Had the fluted shaft on the bottom.
Yeah, and sort of there was so much feel to it, and just beautiful.
It's interesting. I remember chatting to Tony Johnson about this. He said putter shafts now, the rigidity in theory is better energy transfer, but so they've got no feel, whereas the old ones used to get feel out of.
Yeah.
Used to have to hit them a lot harder because the greens were slow.
Exactly. And I'm going to throw in a curveball, Titleist dead centre.
Yeah.
That was a
according to the bullseye.
Really, there was some. But
Mark McNulty used that until very recently.
Yeah, I mean, Corey Paven had it in the bag. He had it in the bag, I think, at the Senior British.
Couldn't be less tech if you tried.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
You could use either side.
Exactly. I mean, it has multiple purposes, but I mean, it was. Yeah, there were some incredible clubs, and people used clubs for a lot longer. There wasn't a change. You go into tour players' bags, and back then, people were using things for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, funny enough, Mark Brooks, who won the '96 USPGA, up until the 2000s, he was using a railer.
Yeah.
And they were brilliant. Those railers. A little bit of. You had the rails on the bottom, a bit like a baffler.
Yeah, exactly.
And they would get into it, and very, very good. And he used that railer for years and years, So.
But anyway, we digress slightly.
Yes.
We've covered the bag. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, let us know. We'll do more of this. We'll get Nic on.
Absolutely.
We'll start talking about like old stuff, as well as new stuff, and we may well do a performance comparison soon as well.
Yeah, exactly. I could bore for England on this, so literally.
So let us know. If you fancy being bored at old stuff, give us a comment. Hopefully like and subscribe, and we'll look forward to doing more of this kind of content in the upcoming weeks.